welcome back and Happy New Year to all of my Kyalians. I hope you all had an amazing Christmas and that Santa found you on the nice list this year. My first video of 2023 is going to follow Kyle on his second season in the AFL after the successful season he had last year. This year I'm trying to make my videos a bit more fun, so bear with me as I figure out how that will look. As part of a holiday present, this month I will be putting up 2 videos, so make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss it. So without further ado, let's find out what kind of season Kyle had.
Today we take a look at what 2022 had in store for a fan favourite of this show, the 2021 Brownlow and Coleman medalist, not to mention Premiership player, Kyle. Here to help me analyse is my co-host, Lee Yick. Hi, glad to be here. So Lee, how did you see Kyle's season? Well, if I'm honest, I found him to be a selfish footballer. As you can see from these clips we're showing, he tends to try and do everything himself, rarely using his teammates to help. Last year, when you interviewed him, he emphasised the importance of his teammates. One can only assume that winning so many awards last year has inflated his ego. I mean, this is the exact type of game we saw him play last year, which earned him not only the Brownlow, but also NAB Rising Star and Club Best and Fairest. True. And in your first season of AFL, that's fine. You need to show your worth to your club and prove you belong in the side. But surely then, you've got to start looking at the team things you can do once you've solidified your position in the team. Maybe that's not his role in the side, Lee. Maybe his license is to do what he's doing because it worked so well for them last year. A good point. Maybe I'm being silly, but I want to see him be more of a team player than he's been. I mean, surely his teammates must be frustrated. In some of these clips, you can see his teammates streaming in front of him into better positions. I mean, pass it to them. If you've got the space, holding onto the ball and gaining ground seems like a better option than giving it off unnecessarily. If that takes you all the way to goal, what's the harm? The harm is not including your teammates. He may think he's got a paddock to run into, but how many times this season has he been pinned with holding the ball? Better to get it to your teammate with a kick and stick to your structures than to get caught out on transition. So you think passing to your teammates and then protecting them will make Kyle a better player? I wouldn't say better, a more rounded player. A player that would attract more players to the club because he'll help them out rather than players staying away because they won't get a kick. Do you really think players wouldn't want to play with Kyle? I think players are, at their heart, selfish. They all want to be the best at their club, but when someone shows up who can back that up and is the best, why would I compete with that? Why would I not try and go to a club where they'll build their structures around me and inflate my ego? Do you know what I mean? I do. And it looks like Port Adelaide were thinking along the same lines as you. This year we definitely saw an uptick in the defensive efforts of the package. We definitely did. I think that came with Kyle spending more time with being the 5th on baller. He came up from the forward line, and if he wasn't used as an option, he was making sure to impact the play with a hard-hitting tackle. Do you think we could see Kyle more in the midfield playing a defensive role? I think it wouldn't be a bad idea. But also, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's making an impact where he is. Just leave him there. Obviously, his defensive efforts helped Port Adelaide to some pretty big scores. Do you think maybe Kyle would be better utilised as a key forward rather than the 5th on baller? Again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why would you remove part of an engine if it was working and winning for you, just on the off chance that that part, put somewhere else, might work better? Change something if you're losing. Don't mess with a winning recipe. There are times when you can tell the package is still getting used to AFL level. Yeah, look, he's still young. He'll make mistakes, but what's important is that he cleans them up. This shows you what kind of player he'll be. Speaking of what player he'll be, it seems like Kyle figured out what you were saying before, Lee. Use your teammates. He seemed to start giving away goals he ordinarily would have kicked himself.
I agree. He started to handball a better option and use his foot to set up better shots at goal. I wonder if his teammates spoke to him about hogging the ball.
Do you think they would have?
I would have.
Is it this type of teamwork that could lead to a captaincy?
I don't know what clubs look for in their captains. I can only talk for me. And if someone of Kyle's calibre was feeding me the ball as he was kicking bags of 10 all the time, I'd be more inclined to listen to where he wanted me to position myself on the field.
I agree with that. A leader includes his team and inspires them when things are hard. Maybe by using his teammates more, he's gaining more respect.
Not just that, but he's not tiring himself out so much, and then wouldn't be so prone to injury. I mean, he's missed about half the season through injury this year. He broke his face again and his arm, wasn't it?
Oh, I think that's right.
Maybe Port have had a word to him, and this is part of how they are managing his injuries. He's still managed to kick 80 odd goals though. He's a freak.
Do you think he'd be disappointed with not kicking 100 goals again this season?
Nah, I don't think he'd even think about it during this year. It seems as though he was more focused on the team aspect of his game after coming back from injury.
I was hoping he'd kick 100 for the second time in a home and away season. Has that ever been done?
I don't think so. It'd be an incredible feat to see that. A player kicking 100 goals in a season is pretty rare these days. It's insane that Kyle has done it in his first season, let alone got so close in his second season.
We haven't seen the type of player like the package for a long time. It's good to see, and the game could use an excitement machine like him.
Agreed, as long as it's in line with his team's goals.
Always pushing the teamwork, aren't you, Lee? Let's enjoy these clips of some of the amazing marks Kyle took before we take a look at his finals campaign. The first final against North Melbourne saw Kyle continuing his dominant rampage on the league. It seems like the whole team learnt from last year though, with their slow starts with Carlton. It looks like they got the jump early.
It did. They came out firing. 8 goals in the first quarter of any game is a great start, let alone a final series.
The package really seemed to find the balance between selfish football and teamwork. They kicked 22 goals for the game, with 10 being from Kyle. That means they had multiple goal scorers.
I watched this game and thought exactly that. Kyle gave away as many as he kicked. It honestly made for a more enjoyable game to watch.
Kyle seemed like a man on a mission during this game.
I think he could smell a chance to add another premiership medal to the cabinet. The only time Sport lost this year was when Kyle was out with injury.
Must be scary for the other clubs when they think what could have happened had he played the whole season.
I think Port are a pretty strong side even without Kyle. I would be more interested to see where they would have ended up without him.
Kyle's defensive efforts continued into this game, with him tackling everything that came near him. Were you happy with these efforts?
I was. It's good to see that he recognises that he has to work both ways. Too many times we see superstar players who think that they only have to do the offensive side of things. In my opinion, in order to be classed as a superstar, you need to have the complete game, not just the stuff that stands out.
Stuff like tackles, smothers, spoils.
Yeah, the 1%ers. The stuff that you'd only notice if you looked at the stats.
Do you think Kyle fits your description of a superstar?
I'd say that he's working towards it. It's no doubt that he's one of the best in the game at the moment, but a superstar? Not just yet. I think that he has the potential to make it though.
I agree, and I hope the next time I ask you that question, he does fit your description. The second final against Brisbane. Port Adelaide came out much the same as they did against North Melbourne, giving them a 5-goal lead going into quarter time, with the package already racking up 10 touches and 3 goals.
It is amazing to watch when someone is in the zone. Kyle just seemed hyper-focused in this game. And look at this clip. He kicked his 100th goal. Incredible stuff. Just too bad it wasn't in the home and away season.
Maybe it was that, or the lure of back-to-back premierships was good motivation.
I mean, if that didn't do it, I don't know what would. There's only so many players that could boast about being multiple premiership winning players.
Kyle kept up his defensive efforts with some ferocious tackling.
I love seeing good hard tackles. You can sense the players' desperation in them, especially with this final. There was no second chances, no next week for the loser.
We've already spoken about Kyle's teamwork, but I want to talk about the selfish dynamic to his game. It's not often you see a player who can get the ball and 99% of the time just do what he wants on the ground.
You're not wrong. You'd be crazy to think that fans of the game, no matter what side you barrack for, wouldn't be excited to see what he's going to do. The AFL must be loving him for the ticket sales, and Port would be loving the dollars coming in from merchandising. You'd think that he'd almost be able to ask for any price if they wanted him to stay.
When I interviewed him last year, before his first year, he said he wanted to be drafted to Geelong. What could Port Adelaide try and offer him to stay?
More money, leadership roles, promise of making history. I don't really know what else they could offer. I don't think it's the club that made him a good player, and it's certainly done his part for the team.
That he has. He stayed with Port Adelaide after last year, so maybe he has rethought heading home.
Maybe. I'm pretty sure though that Geelong never put an offer on the table. This season is over. Do we know if he's staying?
At this point, no. I'm getting information that he's making an announcement soon.
That should be interesting.
That it should be. For now though, let's focus on his performance during the grand final.
Teams competing for football's biggest prize. They should really spend some time lapping this up. They deserve it.
The grand final, and wouldn't you know it, a repeat from last year, Port Adelaide v Carlton.
I was surprised to see Carlton back. It was ramped up to be a retribution grand final from Carlton, 112 points smacking last year, and this was their chance.
They didn't start off well, with Port Adelaide kicking 5 goals to nothing. Not like their start last year.
Nothing like it. And Kyle was playing like a man possessed. All points in his game are on fire. His tackling, teamwork, he was a one-man wrecking ball.
He would have had to have got some sort of finals award this year. There was no one better during finals.
You're right. I can't wait for footy to get back next year. I really want to see what he's going to do next. Has he made the announcement yet? No? Alright.
In a grand final, unless it's your team, you'd really rather it be a close, hard contest. This one blew out in the first quarter, and Carlton never really looked like competing.
Not at all. As a fan of the game, it was boring to watch. Port just put on a masterclass. Carlton seemed slow and tired. I know this season can be long, and if you don't manage your list well, this is what can happen. Not taking anything away from Carlton though, it's a tremendous effort to make it to 2 grand finals. It'd just be heartbreaking to lose both by 100 points or more.
Coming back to Kyle, he racked up 41 possessions and kicked 9 goals for the grand final. It's a monster effort.
It is. No wonder he ended up winning the Norm Smith medal again. He joins a very elite club of dual Norm Smith medalists.
And another record to add to his resume. 2-time premiership player, 2 times Norm Smith medalist, over 200 goals in 2 seasons, 2-time Coleman medalist, 1 club best and fairest. Interestingly, he did not get another club best and fairest this year.
I don't get that.
Hang on a second, we're just getting in now. He's going to Geelong next year.
Ha! He got what he wanted. That's awesome.
That's all we got time for, folks.
See you later.
And that's a wrap on the first episode for Season 2. Hope you enjoyed it because it was a bitch to put together. As always, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram. My @ is KY____EL. Hope you like the new video template and keep your eyes out for the next episode. I'll talk at you later.